Right now, light is passing straight through your window like the glass isn't even there. Meanwhile, the wooden frame around that same window stops it cold. Same sunlight, same distance of just a few millimeters of solid stuff. One material lets the light sail through, the other slams the door. And here's the part that should bother you a little. Glass and wood are both solid. Wood is full of tiny holes and channels. Glass has none. If anything, your gut says wood should be the one letting light through. So why is it the other way around? Why can you read a book through a pane of glass but not through a slice of oak the same thickness? Let's start with the answer most people reach for, because it's wrong in a really useful way. The obvious guess is that light travels through glass because glass has gaps in it, tiny openings. The light squeezes through, and wood blocks light because it's packed solid with no room to pass. It feels right. It matches how we think about water going through a sieve or air through a screen door. But this picture falls apart the moment you look closely, because on the scale that matters here, glass is not full of holes. Glass is one of the most tightly packed, gap-free materials you interact with every day. And wood, by contrast, is loaded with empty space, hollow tubes, air pockets, fibers with room between them. If light were just a tiny ball looking for a gap to slip through, wood would be the winner. So the whole idea of light finding a physical opening has to go. That's not what's happening at all. To understand what is happening, we have to shrink down to the size where light actually interacts with matter. And at that scale, the question stops being about holes and starts being about a conversation. Light isn't a stream of little marbles bouncing around looking for exits. Light is energy that travels as a wave, carried by particles we call photons, and each photon carries a very specific amount of energy tied to its color. When that photon meets a material, it doesn't ask whether there's a gap. It asks a completely different question. It asks the atoms inside, "Can you take this energy off my hands?" And the material's answer to that single question decides everything. Here's the key idea, and it's the thing almost nobody gets taught. Atoms can only absorb energy in specific amounts, not just any amount. Think of the electrons around an atom like people standing on a staircase. They can stand on the first step, or the second step, or the third, but they can never hover halfway between two steps. There's no such thing as a step and a half. So if a photon comes flying in carrying exactly the right amount of energy to bump an electron from one step up to the next, the atom happily grabs it. The photon gets absorbed, its energy vanishes into the material, and the light stops. But if the photon is carrying the wrong amount, too little to reach the next step, too much to fit neatly, then the atom simply can't accept it. It has no place to put that energy. And so the photon just keeps going. It passes straight through, untouched, as if the material weren't even in the way. That's the real secret hiding behind your window. Glass is transparent to visible light, not because it's empty, but because its atoms have no available step that matches the energy of visible light. When sunlight, the light your eyes evolved to see, hits glass, the photons offer up their energy, and the glass basically shrugs. It can't use it. The gap between the electron staircase steps in glass is too big for a visible photon to bridge. So the light has no choice but to travel through and come out the other side. The glass isn't letting light in through gaps. It's declining to absorb it. Transparency isn't openness, it's refusal. And this is where it gets genuinely interesting, because glass is not transparent to everything. Try to get a suntan through a closed window and you'll fail. The glass blocks most of the ultraviolet light from the sun, which is exactly why you can sit by a sunny window for an hour and not burn the way you would outside. Why the difference? Because ultraviolet photons carry more energy than visible ones, and that extra energy is enough to match a step the glass atoms can actually use. So the glass drinks the ultraviolet right up, even while it ignores the visible light passing through the very same pane. The glass is picky. It's transparent to one kind of light and opaque to another, all depending on whether the incoming energy happens to fit. Same material, different answer, just depends on what you send at it. So now flip back to the wood. When a photon of visible light hits wood, the atoms and molecules in that wood have plenty of available steps that match its energy. The pigments in the wood, the compounds that give it its brown color, are practically built to absorb visible light. So the photon comes in. The material says, "Yes, I'll take that," and the energy gets swallowed. It doesn't pass through because it gets absorbed almost immediately, within a whisker of the surface. The light never makes it to the other side because it's converted into a tiny bit of heat inside the first fraction of a millimeter. That's why a dark piece of wood sitting in the sun gets warm to the touch. The light energy didn't disappear. It became heat. Wood isn't blocking light by being dense. It's blocking light by being dense. But wait, because there's a wrinkle here, and if you're paying attention, it should already be nagging at you. If it's all just about whether the atoms can absorb the energy, then any material that can't absorb visible light should be see-through like glass. And yet that's clearly not true. Milk can't be seen through, but it doesn't absorb much visible light. A pile of clean salt or sugar is white and opaque, but each individual crystal is actually transparent. Paper is made of the same basic stuff as a clear cellulose film, yet you can't read through a sheet of it, so absorption can't be the whole story. Something else is going on, and it's the second half of the answer. That something is scattering. Absorption is when the light gets swallowed and turned into heat. Scattering is when the light doesn't get absorbed, but it gets bounced, redirected, sent off in a random new direction every time it crosses a boundary between two different materials. And here's the thing about materials like wood, paper, and milk. They aren't one uniform substance. They're a jumble. Wood is fibers and air and water and various compounds all crammed together, and every time light crosses from fiber to air to fiber again, it bends and redirects a little. Do that a few thousand times over a short distance, and the light is so thoroughly scrambled that even if some of it eventually leaks out the far side, it's carrying no clear picture anymore. It's like a message whispered through 100 people. Even if the sound gets through, the meaning is gone. That's why crushed glass turns from clear to white, and why snow, which is just water that's also clear as ice, looks brilliant white. You didn't change what the material is. You just added a million tiny surfaces for the light to scatter off. So transparency, real transparency, the kind your window has, needs two things to both be true at once. The material has to not absorb the light, and it also has to be uniform enough that the light travels through without getting scattered into chaos. Glass nails both. It doesn't absorb visible light, and because it's a smooth, even, glassy solid with no internal boundaries, the light travels through in a straight, orderly line and comes out the other side, still carrying the image. That's the whole trick. Wood fails on both counts. It absorbs, and even the light it doesn't absorb gets scattered to pieces by its messy internal structure. Two different ways of stopping light, both working at the same time. And once you see it this way, a lot of everyday mysteries suddenly click into place. Think about frosted glass in a bathroom window. It's the same glass chemically as a clear window, but someone roughened the surface. Now light still passes through. It isn't absorbed, but that rough surface scatters it in every direction, so you get brightness without a clear image. You can tell if it's day or night, but you can't make out shapes. That's scattering without absorption, isolated and put to work on purpose. Or think about why a wet paper towel suddenly turns see-through in patches. Dry paper is fibers surrounded by air, and the huge difference between fiber and air is what scatters the light so violently. But when you soak it, water fills the air gaps, and water is much closer to the fibers in how it bends light. Suddenly the mismatch shrinks, the scattering drops, and the paper goes partly transparent. You didn't remove anything, you just quieted the scattering by filling the gaps with something more similar. Same reason a white shirt clings and turns see-through when it's soaked. It's a little embarrassing, and it's pure physics. Now let's push on the idea one more layer, because there's a beautiful subtlety in why glass works and most solids don't. Most solid materials are what we call crystalline, or they're packed with structure and grain boundaries and impurities, all of which give light things to bounce off and often energy steps to get absorbed by. Metals are the extreme case. A sheet of metal is completely opaque, and it's not because it absorbs everything in the ordinary sense. Metals are full of loose, freely roaming electrons, and those electrons are so good at responding to incoming light that they basically catch the light wave and throw it right back. That's what a mirror is. The light doesn't get through, and it doesn't get absorbed either. It gets reflected. So a mirror and a clear window are almost opposite answers to the same question. The window says, I can't use this energy, so I'll let it pass. The mirror says, I catch this energy so easily that I'll just hand it straight back. And wood sits in a third category entirely, saying, I'll take that energy and keep it as warmth. Three materials, three completely different fates for the same beam of light, and none of them have anything to do with holes. There's one more thing worth sitting with, because it reframes the whole question. We tend to say glass is transparent, as if that's a fact about the glass alone, but transparency is really a relationship between a material and a specific kind of light. Glass is transparent to the light we happen to see with. To an animal that could see in the ultraviolet, that window would look partly like a dark wall, and there are kinds of light that pass straight through things we think of as completely solid. X-rays sail through your skin and muscle and stop only at your denser bones, which is the entire reason an X-ray image exists. To an X-ray, your body is mostly a window, so nothing is simply transparent or opaque. It all depends on the match between the energy of the light and the atoms it meets. Change the light, and the walls of your world rearrange. Solid things become see-through, see-through things become walls. Which brings us back to that window you are looking through. The glass isn't transparent because it's empty, and the wood isn't opaque because it's full. It's almost the reverse of what your instinct told you. The glass is a dense, gap-free solid that happens to have no way to absorb or scatter the particular light your eyes use. So that light glides through and hands you the world outside. The wood is a loose, airy, gap-filled thing that absorbs some of that light as heat and scrambles the rest into noise, so nothing coherent ever reaches the far side. The whole difference comes down to a quiet negotiation between photons and atoms, happening billions of times a second, invisibly, in the few millimeters between you and the sky. You never see the conversation. You only see its result, which is the strange, ordinary miracle of being able to look through something solid and see the day on the other side. So the next time you catch your reflection faintly in a window at dusk, remember you're watching a material do three things at once, letting some light through, bouncing a little back at you, and quietly absorbing the rest. It was never about holes. It was always about whether matter can say yes to the light it meets.